Once upon a time a dangerous thunder fell from the sky. And with this a boy suddenly wakes up in his room and he starts looking around and he is unable to understand where he is. But this boy is not a poor boy, but he is the sixth prince. And then his head starts hurting very badly and a flood of memories starts coming in his mind. Lin Feng, the sixth prince of the southern Chu Empire, was a son of the palace maid whom the emperor had while he's drunk. With low cultivation and no power, he could only be the Prince of Peace in the Western Qin, otherwise he would also become a victim of the struggle for the throne in southern Chu. It's a pity that the unfortunate man was attacked by assassins on the way to his wedding. He was frightened and died on the couch because of his illness. I guess it's the most oppressed prince in history. Remembering all these things, the protagonist understands. Am I the sixth prince of the southern Chu called Lin Feng? I've traversed? And he decides, since you let I traverse here, I have to become the strongest person. I can't live without dignity anymore. And then an incident happens with him, and the system appears in front of him. Congratulations to the host Y for successfully activating the super option system. The host's cultivation is measured to be 5th stage body tempering realm. The system will provide a special option to choose for free. And Lin Feng starts looking at the options. Option 1, Universal Lottery. Option 2, Promote Cultivation. Option 3, Super Spiritual Treasure. Current choose, 1 time. And the protagonist gets very excited and he says to the system, only children make choices. I want them all. And the protagonist has taken a respectful choice, and because of this now all the 3 options are in front of him. And now all 3 options have turned into treasures and the protagonist is looking at all 3 treasures with open eyes. And he moves his hand forward to take the treasure, and as soon as he touches one treasure, a very powerful sword comes out from inside it. And in the same way he is looking at all his 3 treasures and he is very happy. So it's an item. I thought I could only choose one. I said I want them all and it worked. But then the system's mind gets disturbed and its malfunction gets disturbed. And seeing this the protagonist is in shock, but the protagonist quickly starts eating all the 3 treasures and he says, system bugs are a matter of system. Won't it be recovered before I have fun? As soon as the protagonist swallows all 3 treasures, the system bug is fixed, due to which the terminating stops. And now the protagonist looks at himself and he is a little surprised and says, why is there no response? But then his eyes start glowing and dangerous power starts coming inside him, and now it seems that now he has a chance to conquer this cultivation world. And he is very happy to feel his increased power, and he says, I really felt that all of my body functions were activated. And my cultivation stage was immediately raised to the 9th stage of body tempering realm. And then a hot and sexy chick comes there, Lin Hongyu, Southern Chu, 6th Prince personal girl servant. And she asks the protagonist, Your Highness, you're awake. And when she sees that the protagonist has woken up, she quickly falls in between the 3rd leg of the protagonist, and she says happily, I thought you wouldn't make it. And the protagonist is very happy to see such a beautiful servant. And he says, how can I die with such a caring servant girl like Hongil by my side? It's great to have such a beautiful woman throwing herself in your arms. And the protagonist is feeling relaxed. Then the system gives the mission to the protagonist. System mission. Host needs to kill at least 2 initial element realm experts within 7 days. After the mission is completed, you will get an extra options to choose. And the protagonist is a little surprised that the system has given him the mission so quickly, but he is ready to complete the mission. And then someone kicks open the door of the protagonist's room, and seeing this Lin Hongyu is a little surprised and she looks back and says, Bulb, this is the bedroom of His Majesty the 6th Prince of Southern Chu. Who is coming? And we see a deputy commander with some guards come over and he says, I am General Chen Xian, deputy commander of the Western Qin Imperial Guard. And I have been ordered by Commander Wei to tend to His Majesty the 6th Prince's injuries. And the protagonist thinks, Commander Wei? He is the mastermind who ambushed my bridal escort. This time of visit must not have any good intentions. And the protagonist says to the deputy commander, His Highness is only suffering from a cold, nothing serious, go back. But the deputy commander starts laughing loudly and he says to the protagonist, Since your Highness is fine, please come with us. And Lin Hongyu says, Don't be unreasonable to your Highness. And the deputy commander says in an angry voice, Your Highness? It is because I've given face to the Southern Chu's emperor that I still call you Your Highness. You're a lowly son-in-law of the emperor, who's even worse than the commoners of Western Qin. Come with us if you know what you are doing, don't make things difficult for yourself. So the protagonist smiles and says, What if I refuse? And the deputy commander gets angry when he hears what the protagonist says, and he orders the guards and says, Don't be shameless. Brothers, tie him up. But then the protagonist also gets angry and he releases his aura pressure, and as soon as the deputy commander feels the strong aura pressure of the protagonist, he gets very surprised and the guards are not even able to move. And the deputy commander is very scared and he says, Rumor has it that Lin Feng's talent is very low, and his cultivation is only at 5th stage body tempering realm. But his hull just now is at least in 9th stage body tempering realm, which is 2 higher than me. Is the rumor fake? And the protagonist asks those people to kneel down, and starts increasing his aura pressure, due to which the deputy commander has become knee down, and blood starts coming out of his mouth, and he cannot believe that in front of him is a dangerous cultivator who is going to rule this continent in the future. And the protagonist comes in front of the deputy commander, and shows his power, and says, The light of fireflies also shines in the bright moon? Now do you know who is shameless? And the protagonist starts rubbing the deputy commander's face with his feet, and seeing this the deputy commander says to the protagonist, Take your dirty feet off. I am the deputy commander of the Western Qin Imperial Army. You're a useless son-in-law, how dare you kill a deputy commander? And the protagonist says to the deputy commander, I am the 6th prince of Southern Chu, you're just a mere deputy commander who has violated the law and should be executed. Do I need guts to kill you? And the protagonist punishes the deputy commander for his mistake by chopping off his head. And when the guards see the deputy commander's chopped off head, they get very scared and the protagonist says to the guard, Go back and tell your commander, Qin Xian has violated his superior, His Highness will kill him with his own hands. And the protagonist says withdraw, and after listening to the protagonist, all the guards say yes. Then Lin Hongyu says, Although your Highness's strength has made greater progress than before, what kind of level is it in the whole Qianyuan continent? I'm afraid your Highness will get hurt again. On the other side we see an old man standing outside a mansion, and there are 2 guards in front of him. Then the old man enters the mansion and a girl is sitting in front of him who is doing some work. Then the girl asks the old man, What's the matter, Old Qin? And his name is Old Qin and he says, Eldest princess, your fiancé just killed Qin Xian, the deputy commander of the Imperial Guard. How should we handle this? And she is Western Qin, eldest princess, Song Yun gender. And Yun Ling is a little surprised to hear this and she says, The Imperial Guards have been too idle for the past few years, so it's fine if they suffer a little. You should remind Commander Wei that in 5 days, I will carefully examine the Imperial Guard and let him clean up the army. And Old Qin says, Old slave, please understand. The eldest princess wants Wei Changtian to behave and not to look for trouble with that prince. I will go now. On the other hand, the protagonist is going somewhere in the middle of the night and he thinks, after absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth for half a night on the mountain, I broke through to body tempering 9th stage in a blink of an eye. The pills given by the system are really superb. But some people are keeping an eye on the protagonist, and these are 2 people and one man says, Old Lu, this is the Southern Chu Prince, right? Wei Changtian asked us 2 initial element realm experts to kill a body tempering 5th stage waste? And his partner says, It's not because this prince killed Deputy Commander Qin, but a lowly outcast with no status. Wei Changtian let us do a clean-up. And when the protagonist is going forward, those people are also following the protagonist, and they are looking for a deserted place so that they can kill Lin Feng. And the first man says, The small fish has entered the net, work. And then both of them attack the protagonist together, but the protagonist had already noticed them, and he says, I've been waiting for you for a long time. And as soon as the protagonist releases his aura, both of them stop breathing after feeling the protagonist's aura. And the first man says in fear, How can you be strong as an initial element realm expert? And the protagonist says, Now you know, it's too late. And the protagonist gets ready to attack both of them, and with the help of his power he takes out a sword from his hands, and attacks both of them with a dangerous slash. And in a few moments the protagonist has killed both of them. And now the protagonist calms down and goes on his way. And Old Chin is watching all this from hiding, and he says, one was able to escape from the hands of two initial element realm experts. Impossible. Old Lu and Old Li are the strongest under Wei Changtian. I have to check it out. And when Old Chin reaches the location where the protagonist killed both of them, he sees that they have already been killed, and Old Chin is very shocked to see this, and he says, both were killed in a single blow. This son's strength can't be underestimated. After some time the protagonist reaches his room. And Lin Hongyu opens the door and she asks, Your Highness, what's wrong with you? So the protagonist says, don't ask too many questions, help me in and see if anyone is following me. Then the protagonist sits on the bed. And Lin Hongyu says, Your Highness, are the people from the Western Qin attacking you again? These guys are really bullying people. And the protagonist says to Lin Hongyu, It's okay. I've already taken care of the attackers. It's just that I used up too much spiritual energy, so I'll be fine after a day or two of rest. And Lin Hongyu says, Well, Your Highness, rest first. Hongyu will cook some porridge for you. After this, Lin Hongyu comes out of the protagonist's bedroom and the protagonist is trying to sleep on the bed. But then the voice of the system is heard by the protagonist, due to which the protagonist becomes happy and the system says, Congratulations to the host. For completing the mission, kill two initial element realm experts, mission and getting options to choose. Option 1, Universal Lottery, draw any item from all the worlds. Option 2, Promote Cultivation, promote your self-cultivation. Option 3, Super Spiritual Treasure, randomly draw a spiritual treasure. Option 4, Unlimited Spirit Crystal, get 100,000 high-grade Spirit Crystal at once. Current choose 1 system prompt. Since the host completed the mission for the first time, the special reward increased by 1 option. Host will be rewarded with an additional option for every 20 missions completed in the future. And the protagonist says, Do you need to ask? 100,000 high-grade spirit crystals. Spirit crystals are items used to store the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and are one of the main currencies on the Qianyuan continent. Not only can they be used for cultivation, they can also be used to buy spiritual treasures, spiritual pets, spiritual pills, and even spiritual techniques. Spirit crystals are divided into 4 grades: low, mid, high, and supreme. A mid-grade spirit crystal can be exchanged for 1,000 low-grade spirit crystals. My monthly salary is only 200 mid-grade spirit crystals, but now I have 100,000 high-grade spirit crystals, which is ill-gotten wealth. It's like I won a lottery. And the system says, Congratulations to the host for getting 100,000 spirit crystals. Due to the huge number of spirit crystals, it will now automatically be stored in the system space. Host can withdraw it at any time. And the protagonist is very happy and he says, It's quite user-friendly, thank you. I've got a lot of money, what should I buy first? Then the scene shifts, Wei Mansion, and we see 2 people, and behind that man is his servant, and he is Imperial Guard Commander, Wei Changtian. And the commander says, Old Li and Old Lu have gone out for more than an hour, how come they aren't back yet? And the servant says, General, don't worry. Have a cup of tea. And then someone comes to that place, and seeing him the commander asks him who it is? So we see that it is Old Chin, and Old Chin has come to meet the commander, and the commander asks Old Chin, I don't know what is the reason for your late night visit. So Old Chin throws 2 sacks, and seeing those 2 sacks the commander is a bit surprised and he says, Old Chin, what's the matter? So Old Chin says, This is one out of our 12 criminals. Our men found this in an alley in the north of Xinjiang. After reporting it, the eldest princess ordered me to bring it to you. And the commander says, Ah? The eldest princess knows? Then Old Chin says, Yes, the eldest princess is still very interested in marrying her husband. And the commander breaks the teacup and says in an angry voice, A bunch of losers, not enough to succeed but enough to create a mess. Go, and send a message to the government post, saying that the eldest princess has set her eyes on the 6th prince of the southern Chu. I, Wei Changtian, am only a small commander of the Imperial Guard and dare not try to shake the tree. Let them do it by themselves. Lin Feng, Don't think that if you kill my 2 men, you can do whatever you want in Xinjiang. The government alone is enough for you to drink a whole pot. The next day some people come to Lin Feng with lots of gold coins and some treasure, and one man tells the protagonist, I am Song Qi, a steward of the eldest princess's residence. The eldest princess has been busy with political affairs recently and hasn't been able to greet His Majesty the 6th Prince in person, so she has instructed me to pay you a visit on her behalf, so please forgive me. And seeing all those things, the protagonist gets a little disappointed and he thinks, it's just a few mundane items, the princess is not very sincere either. And the protagonist says Steward Song must be joking, the eldest princess is the crown princess and I am not an unreasonable husband, I can understand. It's just that your highness is new to Xinjiang and is not very familiar with some places, so I would like to ask Steward Song to give me some guidance. And Steward Song gets a little surprised and he says, I wonder what place your highness would like to inquire about. And the protagonist gives Steward Song a crystal, seeing which Steward Song gets a little surprised. And the protagonist tells him that he has to go to the auction house. Then Steward Song says, that's easy. I promise to arrange it for you. At night, Kuei-Shing Pavilion. A girl welcomes everyone and she says, welcome to the Kuei-Shing Pavilion. I'm Xiaoye and I'm honored to host this auction for you all. And a servant shows the way to the protagonist and he says, young Master Lin, this is the VIP room arranged for you. Your identity will also be kept a secret. You can rest assured and enjoy. And the protagonist says to the servant, I've already helped you with the matters here. You can directly order if you have any requests. I'll leave now. And a female servant says to the protagonist, young master, these are the 10 kinds of treasures of this auction. Have a look first. Then the protagonist gets information about the treasures. Number I treasure the 9-turn soul restoring pill, priced at 10,000 high-grade spirit crystals. Number 2 treasure, cold frost sword, priced at 1,000 high-grade spirit crystals. Number I0 treasure, unknown, priced at 1,000 high-grade spirit crystals. And the protagonist says, this number 10 treasure doesn't have any details and dare to sell at 1,000 high-grade spirit crystals? And the female servant says, this is our auction rules, it's a suspense for VIP guests. But don't worry, Prince, the last treasure won't disappoint you. Then the announcer tells us about the first treasure. Our number 1 treasure is the 4th grade spirit pill 9-turn soul restoring pill. As long as the injured are still breathing, after taking this pill he'll be able to quickly recover 70% of its spiritual energy. And the female servant says, young master, the first treasure has been auctioned. Do we need to bid? And the protagonist says, help me keep an eye on the top-grade spiritual techniques. As for the rest, buy whatever you want, I'm not short of money anyway. And one man bids 15,000, then another man bids 17,000. And a fat lady bids 21,000. Then the protagonist directly bids 30,000. And hearing this, the female servant gets impressed by the protagonist. Then the announcer says, just got the news, the VIP number 15 bid 30,000 high-grade spirit crystals. And we see these people and they are angry and are saying, fuck, directly raising the price by 9,000, worthy of being a big shot in the VIP room. And the other man says, this guy is crazy, right? Spending 30,000 to buy a 4th grade pill? And the fat lady says, envy, local tyrant, let's be friends. And the female servant says, young master, this is a profoundly ranked top-grade jade sword, with a price of 30,000 high-grade spirit crystals. So the protagonist says, 50,000, and hearing this the female servant becomes happy and she says, how about this profound rank 9 dragons and 9 elephants skill? The price is 35,000 high-grade spirit crystals. And the protagonist increases the bid further to 60,000. And hearing this the crowd becomes very angry and they are saying, this is inhumane, a broken sword would cost 50,000. This is simply not allowing others to bid. Kneel down to the local tyrant, it's too rich. Number 15 VIP bid so high, how can we keep up? And as soon as stewardess hears about the protagonist's words, she cannot stop herself, and she comes outside the protagonist's room and knocks on the door. And the female servant is surprised to see stewardess in front of her. And stewardess says to the servant, you have done a good job, let me do the next. And stewardess tells the protagonist about herself. I am a stewardess of the Kuei-shing Pavilion. Why didn't His Highness tell me in advance that you would come? And the protagonist says, as a prince of another empire, I don't have much power in your Western Qing. Then stewardess takes out a card from her very secret place and says to the protagonist, Your Highness must be joking. This is a supreme membership card of Kuei-shing Pavilion. Please insert it. With this card, you can enjoy a 20% discount when auctioning your treasures, and provide you with a separate VIP room at any time with special service. We can send the items you buy to your residence. If yours identity is revealed or lost, we will compensate. And the protagonist is very happy to get the Supreme Membership card and he says, You're pretty good at doing things. And stewardess says, The customers are immortals. This is the purpose of Kuei-shing Pavilion's service. The 8th treasure currently being auctioned is an Earth-grade spiritual skill. Although it is of high rank, it's just a fragment. If His Highness is interested, you can bid 70,000, up to 90,000. And the protagonist says, not to mention 90,000 or even 900,000, you can even raise it however you want. I, Lin Feng, am not lacking money. And stewardess gets shocked, and she says, hee. Sure enough, you're inhuman. Your family products are high-grade spirit crystals, right? Then the protagonist asks the stewardess, Tell me the details about the last treasures, just name your price. I'm having a hard time putting a price. So stewardess says, Oh, you said that. That is an egg of the spirit beast at the initial element realm, if the cultivator uses its blood to hatch it. When the egg-hatch cultivator can form a beast contract with the young beast, that will be a powerful helper. And another treasure has been bought by Lin Feng, and the announcer says, Congratulations to VIP number 15, who has bid 10,000 high-grade spirit crystals for the 8th treasure, a fragment of Earth-rank spirit skill. And a man is very angry because he is not able to buy anything, so he bangs his hand on the table and shouts, Second uncle, why aren't you letting me raise the bid? If that guy number 15 takes it, where does he place our government post in his eye? Before, most of the things here were bought by us, and those we didn't like would be given away. When did we suffer from such defeat? And his second uncle says the person on number 15 is too mysterious. This kind of throwing tons of money is not something ordinary people can do. We don't need to fight with him. Don't forget the purpose of what we came here for. We must get the spirit beast's egg. Then we see that a servant has come near the announcer, and she has a treasure in her hand. Then the announcer says, Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the last treasure of our auction tonight. The spirit beast, the egg of the initial element realm, starting price at 1,000 high-grade spirit crystals. And as soon as the crowd sees that treasure, they start drooling and say, It's actually the egg of the initial element realm spirit beast. This rare treasure is worth a glance. Even if I sell myself at thousands of supreme spirit crystals, it's still not enough. Then Lin Feng bids 5,000 for that treasure, and then another man bids 6,000 for that treasure. But Lin Feng increases the price further, and he bids 10,000. And the second man bids 12,000, and his uncle says to him, Wei Yuan, that's enough. But Wei Yuan is getting very angry, and he says to the second uncle, we have to raise the price. What father wanted is about to be taken by the bastard in room number 15. So the second uncle emphasizes his point and says, Raise? Do you think we can still come up with 10,000 high-grade spirit crystals? Since that girl Song Yiling took over as crown princess, do you think we can still use the treasury's assets? We no longer have the capital to compete with the other party. And Wei Yuan gets very frustrated and says, Damn it! Who the hell is the bastard in room number 15? Then the announcer gets very happy and she says, Congratulations to VIP number 15 for obtaining this spirit beast egg with 100,000 high-grade spirit crystals. And stewardess says, Congratulations, Your Highness, on your treasure. Your purchase will be delivered to your home at a later time. And Lin Feng gives his address to stewardess. No need, just send it to this address. And stewardess starts looking at the address and she says, This is the abandoned temple in the western suburb? So Lin Feng says, Yes, just send it there and I'll pick them up. Then the protagonist comes out of that room with the stewardess, and Steward Song welcomes him, and he says, Young Master Lin, you are really rich and generous. I, Steward Song, sees such a method of bidding for the first time today. And the protagonist says, naturally, you have to fight for what you want. I have to ask the steward Song to keep this to himself. So steward Song says, I will definitely keep this to myself. And then Wei Yuan comes to meet Lin Feng and he says, Yo, isn't this your highness the sixth prince of the Southern Empire? A son-in-law living in the house of his wife's parents are still qualified to come here. The standard of the Kuei-Shing court to know people are really getting lower and lower. And steward Song tells the protagonist about Wei Yuan and he says, this is Wei Yuan, the son of the Duke Wei of Western Qin. The middle-aged man next to him is Wei Yonglai, the younger brother of Duke Wei, followed by Old Xing. His strength has reached the initial element realm 5th stage. Then steward Song says to Wei Yuan, young Master Wei, His Highness the Sixth Prince is the fiancé of the eldest princess, so please be careful what you say and do. But Wei Yuan is very angry and shouts, you're just a mere steward in the eldest princess mansion. I'm in a very bad mood today, so don't tempt me. You dog slave, why don't you take this trash and get out of my sight? And Wei Yuan was about to punch steward Song, but then the protagonist punches Wei Yuan hard on his face, due to which Wei Yuan's entire jaw is shaken. And seeing the power of the protagonist, the second uncle gets a little surprised, but he is very angry and he was about to go ahead to fight. But another man puts his hand on his shoulder and stops him. But the second uncle is not able to understand anything. Why is that man asking him to keep quiet? Then we see Wei Yuan. He is very angry at the protagonist, and he says to the protagonist, you hit me? You piece of shit, dare hit? But then the protagonist slaps Wei Yuan on the cheek and says to him, that's right, I hit you. And now, after suffering so much insult, Wei Yuan has become completely out of control and he takes out his sword to kill the protagonist and attacks the protagonist. But the protagonist dodges Wei Yuan's attack very easily. Then the protagonist starts staring at Wei Yuan, and Wei Yuan gets a little scared, and then the protagonist also uses his spiritual power, and he was about to hit Wei Yuan. But then someone holds the protagonist's hand, and we see that this is the same man who had stopped second uncle earlier. And he says to the protagonist, my young master is already aware of his mistake, so please be merciful. But Wei Yuan has still not come to his senses, and he is shouting at the protagonist. And second uncle tells Wei Yuan to keep quiet, and Lin Feng looks at Wei Yuan and he says, is that so? Why do I get the feeling that your young master is not quite convinced yet? So the man says, you are wrong, your highness. Then the protagonist starts to leave, but while leaving he says, well, you should discipline your young master's mouth, otherwise he will easily get killed. So the man says, your majesty is right, we will leave now. And we see Wei Yuan, who is very angry because he has suffered a lot of humiliation today. Then when both of them were going forward, steward Song said to the protagonist, thank you for your help, those people acted harshly today. I will report this to the eldest princess, and give you justice. And the protagonist says there is no need to bother the eldest princess with such trivial matters. And the protagonist thinks, I don't expect the eldest princess to pull out any justice for me. After this we see that Wei Yuan, second uncle, and that man are leaving. And Wei Yuan is saying, second uncle, why did you stop me from killing that loser? So his second uncle says, enough. Isn't the humiliation you gave still not enough? You've always been arrogant and domineering, but now you've been beaten in the face by a loser prince. You're just a disgrace to the royalties. If it wasn't for me and Old Xing, you would have been the laughing stock of others. And Old Xing says, it seems that the rumors are true, that the sixth prince Lin Feng's strength has improved from 5th stage body tempering realm to initiate element realm. There's definitely something fishy about this person. And second uncle says, it seems that our plan has to be a little ahead of schedule. Next day Lin Feng is going somewhere, and he is saying, last night, at the auction house they didn't have the mental skills and pills for Hong Yu. See if I can find it in the store today. And Lin Feng is standing outside a store and he says, there's one here. Is anyone here? And the protagonist goes inside the store, and then someone falls down from the swing and he stands up slowly, but he is hurt a little, and he looks at Lin Feng and says, ouch. Who? Making a big fuss, it scared the hell out of me. And the protagonist asks, old man, are you okay? So the store owner says, forget it, I forgive you for your first offense, and won't pursue this matter. What do you want to buy? So the protagonist says, I want to buy some beginner mental skills for a female cultivator, and some pills to improve her physique. And the shop owner says, for female cultivators? I'll look for it. And the store owner searches for some books and pills, but it looks like they have accumulated a lot of dust. And seeing all these things, the protagonist asks the store owner, Old man, are you sure these things can still be used? So the store owner tells the protagonist, take it or leave it, and the protagonist needs all these things very much right now, so he wants to take all these things at any cost, and he tells the store owner, I'll take them all. And the store owner laughingly tells the protagonist the price of all these things, haha, a total of 1 very high-grade spirit crystal, no credit. And on hearing the total amount, the protagonist becomes absolutely stunned, and he tells the store owner, how much? These things are usually worth a few hundred mid-grade spirit crystals, and you want me to ask for very high-grade spirit crystals? I'm not buying it. Why not just rob me? And then the store doors close automatically. And the protagonist gets a little surprised, and he looks back and he is saying, the store door closed itself? And the store owner smilingly says to the protagonist, young man, this is my store, I don't sell at the usual price, okay? So the protagonist says, the market price of these items is only a few hundred mid-grade spirit crystals, you're ripping me off. Senior! And the store owner says, you said that, your accent sounds like you came from Southern Chu, right? We are from the same hometown, I can still rip you off. This price is definitely worth it. And the protagonist thinks, this old man's cultivation is unfathomable and unclear, according to the general pattern. Maybe he's a hidden expert, it's just a high-grade spirit crystal, no need to start conflict with him. Then the protagonist accepts the store owner's words. He takes the crystal and gives it to the store owner, who quickly picks it up and gets happy and says, good foundation. My surname is Chang, come to me in the future when needed. And when the protagonist starts to leave the store owner tells the protagonist to stop, so the protagonist asks the store owner, Senior, what else can I do for you? So the store owner throws a ring to the protagonist, and the protagonist catches the ring, and the store owner says to the protagonist, we're fellow townsmen. It's a gift. Then the protagonist comes out of the store and he says, I'll be a dog if I come to your store again. And as the protagonist moves forward, he sees some people who are harassing someone. And we see that these people together are harassing Lin Hongyu, and as soon as the protagonist sees Lin Hongyu, he gets very angry, and like a hero he goes to fight with the villain to save the heroine. And as soon as those people see the protagonist, they are shocked, and the protagonist attacks them and throws them away. And as soon as Lin Hongyu sees her young master, she becomes very happy. And then a man comes forward and he says to the protagonist, this girl broke my 9-turn exquisite bracelet, and she had no money to compensate for it. That's why there was some conflict. Of course, the slave was a little rough, I hereby apologize. And Lin Hongyu says to the protagonist, no, I didn't. It was him who dropped the bracelet. And the protagonist says, rest assured, I'll take care of everything. And Lu Hu says, I'm Lu Hu of the Xingjing Chamber of Commerce. May I know who you are? So the protagonist says, the 6th Prince of Southern Chu, Lin Feng. And both shake hands, and Lu Hu is thinking, it is no wonder he looks new, the loser prince who recently became royal son-in-law. His body shape and cultivation is not shallow, I'd better try him. And Lu Hu starts pressing the protagonist's hand hard to show his dominance. But when the protagonist realizes this, he uses his cultivation power to kill Lu Hu. Lu Hu presses Lu Hu's hand so hard that Lu Hu stops breathing and starts screaming loudly. And there is a smile on the protagonist's face. Then Lu Hu tells the protagonist, Your Highness really advanced in his cultivation. And the protagonist says, Nana, you flatter me. Brother Lu is very talented, but after all, we did something wrong. The spirit crystal in Brother Lu's chest will be used as compensation. And then Lu Hu's attention goes towards her body. It looks like something is about to come out of his chest. And seeing this, Lu Hu is very surprised. And now the protagonist starts taking Lin Hongyu with him. And seeing them, Lu Hu's friend tells him, Young master, just letting it go. So Lu Hu stops them and he says, Sure enough, the rumor is just a rumor, and it can't be true. If you walk in the street in the future, put your eyes on the bright side, otherwise you'll be casually killed by people. The Liu family will not collect your body. I can't say I'll always apologize to others. After this, the protagonist and Lin Hongyu reach their house, and the protagonist is saying to Lin Hongyu, "It's okay, it's okay. I know it's not our Hongul's fault." And Lin Hongyu says to the protagonist with a very cute face, Thank you, Your Highness." And seeing Lin Hongyu's cute face, the protagonist melts for her. Then the protagonist says to Lin Hongyu, "Come on, look at the present I bought for you first." And when Lin Hongyu sees that the protagonist has brought a lot of books and pills, she gets very surprised. And the protagonist laughs. He says to Lin Hongyu, "Hongyu, from today, I'll teach you to cultivate." And Lin Hongyu says, "Me? Your Highness, I am just a servant girl, how can I be qualified?" So the protagonist tells Lin Hongyu, he hugs her and says, "Hongyu, I hope you know that you're a very important person to me." And Lin Hongyu is very surprised to hear the words of the protagonist. After this, it becomes evening and a very strange sound starts coming from Lin Feng's room, and Lin Hongyu is saying to Lin Feng, Your Highness, it hits so hard." And the protagonist is saying, "Hongyu, hold on a little longer, it'll be ready in a minute." And Lin Hongyu gets completely sweaty and she says, "Your Highness, I can't." And we see Lin Feng putting his spiritual energy inside Lin Hongyu so that she can start cultivating. But Lin Hongyu is completely drenched in sweat, but the protagonist succeeds. Then the protagonist takes a deep breath and says to Lin Hongyu, "First stage body tempering realm is really hard. You need to absorb Yuan Qi and let it flow through your meridian, eliminate the impurities in your body, transform your bones and wash the essence of the marrow in order to succeed. Hongyu, you have now begun to walk in the path of cultivation." But then the protagonist's attention goes towards Lin Hongyu's beautiful body, due to which his nose starts bleeding, and his entire attention now goes towards every body part of Lin Hongyu, due to which he starts blushing. But he says to Lin Hongyu, Hongyu, well, aren't we a little fast?" And Lin Hongyu says, "Your Highness, I suddenly feel very hungry." But the protagonist's attention is somewhere else, and he says a little nervously, "Yes, okay, we should go and eat something." And seeing the actions of the protagonist, Lin Hongyu is a little confused and she says, "Your Highness, what fast are you talking about?" So the protagonist says, "Hongyu, don't care about those details, come on, I'll take you to Xingjing restaurant to eat a nice meal. Steward Song said that the snowy mountain spirit fruit dew there is extremely famous." And the protagonist starts leaving the room. Then Lin Hongyu says to the protagonist, "Your Highness, I'll change my clothes first." And the protagonist says, "Haha, no hurry, take your time." At night, Xingjing restaurant, the protagonist and Lin Hongyu have dinner. And Lin Hongyu happily says to the protagonist, "Your Highness, I am so full of food." And the protagonist says, "This spirit dew really has a well-deserved reputation, and its taste is excellent. Drinking it actually has some benefits to cultivation. Hongyu, have a taste quickly." And then they hear someone's voice, and a servant is saying, young master, someone's already occupying the Stargazer room." And another man says, "Fuck off. Stargazer is my fixed private room and someone has to fuck off." And then someone kicks open the door of the room, and it is Wei Yuan. And he says angrily, "I'd like to see who itis." And when he sees the protagonist in front of him, he gets even more angry. And the protagonist says to Wei Yuan, "It is me, your father." And now Wei Yuan has seen the protagonist, and he directly moves forward to kill the protagonist, but then someone puts a hand on Wei Yuan's shoulder, and stops him and says to him, "Didn't expect to be in such an embarrassing situation when I first met you. I apologize for Wei Yuan, brother-in-law." And after listening to that man, the protagonist thinks, "Brother-in-law? My wife is the eldest princess, only the older one can call me that. Eldest Prince Song Yunlong." And the protagonist says, "So it's the eldest prince, hurry up, please sit down, don't just stand. It's embarrassing." And the protagonist makes tea for Yunlong, and Yunlong sits comfortably, and starts drinking tea, and he says, "Snowy mountain spirit fruit dew, brother-in-law will enjoy it." Lin Feng, after coming to Qin for many days, "Is there anything you are not used to?" And the protagonist says, "Thanks to the blessing of the eldest princess, everything is fine." And Yunlong asks, "I heard that you had some misunderstandings with the Imperial Guard not long ago." So the protagonist says, oh, there are some. Some people's dogs are disobedient, so naturally I should teach them a lesson. And then a man gets angry and says, you're just a loser son-in-law from Southern Chu and you dare to kill the deputy commander of the Imperial Guard. Even if you don't live a careful life in Western Qin, don't put my elder sister in such a situation. And after listening to that man, the protagonist thinks, what? This is my cheap wife's younger brother, and he is still looking after her, so how did he get along with Song Yunlong? And the protagonist says, just because this is my first time in Western Qin, I need to let some people know that I'm not easy to bully. Here, I can only rely on my own fist, not some people. And after listening to the protagonist, this man gets angry and he shouts, then let me see if your fist is hard enough. Then the man attacks Lin Feng, but Lin Feng blocks his attack. Yunlong then tells him, Yunfei, don't be so impulsive. Don't hurt Lin Feng, come down quickly. And the protagonist thinks, that's the strength of the 5th stage initial element master, but how did he endure it? And Yunlong says, I'm sorry for such an embarrassing thing to happen, thank you for having us. Then they start leaving, and when they leave, Lin Feng takes a sigh of relief and sits back, but he is thinking, the side effects of the bloodthirsty demon sword are really fatal. From now I'd better not use it as much as possible. And Lin Hongyu says, Your Highness, what happened to you? Is it hurt? Hongyu will buy medicine for you. So Lin Feng says, It's nothing, Hongyu, you don't have to worry, I'm just a little exhausted, it's not a problem. Is that a person? But Lin Hongyu says, No, Your Highness, you are too weak now. And Lin Feng says, What? No, I am not. And Lin Hongyu says, No, must drink. Chinese wolfberry, Chinese yam, white mulberry and sheath of 5 ginseng. Lin Feng says, Miss Hongyu, give me a break. And when Yunlong and those people were leaving, Wei Yuan said to Yunlong, Brother Yunlong, just let him go? Didn't you say that if you encounter? Then Yunlong says, Brother Yuan, to this uncle that you will not cause trouble before leaving. And Wei Yuan says, Brother Yunlong, you promised this. And Yunlong says, Brother Yuan, I promise to help you in your revenge on Lin Feng for humiliating you, but not now, just wait a bit, trust me. So Wei Yuan says, Brother Yunlong, I believe you of course. We grew up together, and you helped me in every fight. And Yunlong says, Don't worry, leave it to me. It won't take long. Then the scene shifts to a jungle and we see the protagonist who has come to this jungle, but he is a little sad and he is thinking, I can't believe no one came. And the protagonist remembers that he had given the address of this place to stewardess, so that she can deliver all the treasures to this place, and the protagonist can take all the treasures from this place. And remembering all these things, the protagonist says, though it would happen in the novel murdering someone for treasure, it seems to be not real. It seems that those who get to a high position are not people without brains. I should be at home guiding my little Hongyu on cultivation. No, I a socialist successor, the motherland's delicate flowers do good deeds without leaving a name. How can I, a young pioneer, think of the worst ideas every day to speculate other people's hearts? Change. And then the protagonist hears someone's footsteps, and we see that a shadow is moving forward in the forest with the help of trees. And on realizing this, the protagonist becomes very alert, and he wonders who it is. Then we see some people and a man is standing in front of them, and that man says to them, Hand over your things, let you not die. And after listening to the strange talk of this man in black clothes, one of those people says to their leader, Lord Xuanhu, what to do? We're less than 30 miles from the city gate. The previous fight should have alerted the gate guards, but even if reinforcements come, it will take a quarter of an hour. And Xuanhu thinks, there's no choice but to fight to death, and Xuanhu says to his companions, Heed my order, everyone put down your baggage and turn back to the city gate. And after listening to Xuanhu, they do the same, and Xuanhu gets ready to fight with that man. And seeing this, the man in black clothes also gets ready to fight with them. And we see that he has many companions behind him, and that man gives the order to kill all of them. And now a fight is about to take place between these people, and Xuanhu shouts to his companions, Soldiers, for the sake of the great Qin, kill! And now a fierce fight begins between these people, and the man in black clothes is solidifying and utilizing Yuan Qi as the Saiyan Qi transformation master. And he directly attacks Chuanhu, and seeing this Chuanhu gets very nervous because he is not able to react to anything. And Lin Feng is watching all these things carefully, and he is also very surprised. And the man in black clothes pushes Chuanhu away, and seeing this Lin Feng thinks that now I am going to get into trouble. And due to the attack of the man in black clothes, Chuanhu falls away and he gets injured, and in this way many of Chuanhu's companions get injured and killed. And one of them, who is fighting very well with the companions of those men in black clothes, when he sees that his leader is injured, he gets very worried for Chuanhu. And he comes in front of Chuanhu and asks him, "Your Highness, are you all right?" And Chuanhu says, "Why does Li Qianhu call me His Highness?" So Li Qianhu says, the elder prince came to Nanjing to greet the commander in person, but His Highness doesn't want to know he's from the royal family, and received special treatment. I am the only one who knows your true identity on this trip. And Chuanhu again stands up to fight and he says, "So it's big brother, no wonder. But it seems that today, you and I may not escape a disaster." And Li Qianhu says, "Your Highness, with all due respect, the soldier present and I can die here as punishment. But please, Your Highness, stay safe and take everything away with no mistake." And Chuanhu says, "Li Qianhu should be assured that Yunfei is not a fool." And Li Qianhu gets ready to fight, and then the man in black clothes attacks them. But now Li Qianhu is ready to break the pride of that man and he attacks that man, but that man easily stops Li Qianhu's attack, and he uses some technique of his to attack Li Qianhu. But Chuanhu stops his attack, and when Chuanhu attacks that man again, he easily dodges Chuanhu's attack and hits Chuanhu with a strong kick, due to which Chuanhu falls far away. And seeing this, Li Qianhu gets very angry and he attacks that man again, but that man accumulates some kind of power in his hand and hits Li Qianhu with a strong hit. And seeing this, Chuanhu starts worrying for Li Qianhu. And we see Li Qianhu collides with a tree and gets badly injured, and seeing the power of that man, Li Qianhu is saying, "Ho! How is it possible to generate this power again?" And we see this man who is still fully ready to fight. And when the protagonist sees the power of that man, he is also very surprised and he thinks, "Is he still human? How can he send people flying in that situation?" Then the man in black clothes moves forward to attack again, and the protagonist is watching all these things from behind the bushes and he is thinking, "Not good, this cheap brother-in-law is in danger. Damn it, I am safe but not able to fight or be ready to die. What to do? And then Lin Feng's attention goes to the sword given by the system, and Lin Feng is a little confused. What should he do now? Then he is saying nervously, No, I don't have to. Have mercy, please don't." But the man in black clothes is moving forward to attack both of them, and seeing this situation, now the protagonist also cannot back down from fighting, and he catches the sword and gets very ready to fight. And when the man in black clothes attacked both of them, then the man in black clothes feels something, and we see that the protagonist attacked the man in black clothes and pushed him away from him. And the protagonist's attack is dangerous, due to which the man in black starts bleeding from his mouth. And seeing this, Chuanhu gets very shocked. And we see that the man in black falls away, and seeing the protagonist in front of him, Chuanhu asks him, "Lin Feng? How come you're here?" But the protagonist tells Chuanhu, "You think I want to. As for the reason on what to say later, but the most urgent is." Then the protagonist points towards the man in black. But we see that even the protagonist's attack has not caused any harm to this man, and he stands up again. And Chuanhu says to the protagonist, "Lin Feng, leave here quickly, he is a Qi transformation cultivator, you and I aren't his opponent, take this and leave." And Chuanhu gives something to the protagonist, and the protagonist tells Chuanhu that the man is coming again. And we see that the man attacks these people again, but the protagonist relaxes a bit, and he keeps the thing given by Chuanhu with him. And when the man in black clothes attacks both of them, Lin Feng uses his sword and cuts one of the hands of that man. And we see that the man is injured, but then the man regenerates his hand again, and the protagonist is very shocked to see this. And the man in black clothes starts smiling, and now it seems that Lin Feng is trapped in a very big problem. And that man again attacks the protagonist, but the protagonist retreats and Lin Feng is very scared and he thinks, it can actually regenerate? What is this thing? Fortunately, I've been practicing this divine movement skill in the past 2 days and am able to comprehend it a little, or else I will be caught. Oh no! I forgot that Song Yunfei is still there, and the man in black clothes is saying in a strange way that I will kill you people. And after listening to him, the protagonist thinks, strange, it doesn't actually care about Song Yunfei at all and it's actually stuttering when speaking like a retard, and it has a superb regeneration speed. He's a Qi transformation realm cultivator, and he rarely uses his Yuan Qi, just uses brute force. Should I give it a try and defeat him faster? Otherwise it'll be difficult to deal with him once his accomplice's hands free up. I can't use the divine movement skill for several times with my current cultivation, not to mention my bloodthirsty demon sword. I can only use its full power once, and I only have one chance. And the man in black clothes is about to make a dangerous attack on the protagonist, seeing which the protagonist is very shocked. And we see that he has made a very dangerous attack on the protagonist, and due to his attack many people start flying in the air, and when the effect of the attack reduces, the protagonist very quickly comes in front of that man. But that man in black clothes again attacks Lin Feng, and his attack was about to hit Lin Feng, but with great difficulty the protagonist dodges that man's attack. Then that man in black clothes moves back and again moves forward to attack the protagonist. And this time Lin Feng is standing quietly, and he also moves forward to attack, and he is saying, skipping a rank challenge is a standard for the protagonist, but... And the fight starts between them and the protagonist is also attacking him. But the protagonist is finding it very difficult to fight him. Then he starts accumulating energy in his sword and gets ready to make a dangerous attack, and he is saying, no matter what you are, this sword will make you a flying ashes and dissolve smoke. And the protagonist attacks the man in black clothes, but that man easily dodges the attack. And Lin Feng's attack becomes useless. But we see that something is moving very fast towards these people. And that attack is very dangerous, seeing which Qianhu is shocked, and so are these people. And then an attack hits the man in black clothes next to this man, due to which he hits a tree. And we see that some royal soldiers are coming, and they are saying, I am Wang Zhongwu, the commander of the flying cavalry, thieves, surrender yourselves. And Wang Zhongwu is telling his people to kill everyone, and we see that many soldiers have come to fight with these people. And seeing this, Qianhu becomes happy, but when his attention goes towards the protagonist, he is shocked. And he is asking Lin Feng if he is okay? And when we see the protagonist, he is completely exhausted, his power is completely drained, and he says, no, I'm not, there's no drop. It's brother-in-law, you wait, I'll come and help you. And Qianhu says, I think it is better for me to help you. And Wang Zhongwu comes to Qianhu and says to him, Yunfei, all right. So Qianhu says, Zhongwu, I didn't expect you to lead a team to help. And Wang Zhongwu says, when the eldest prince heard that you were under attack, he immediately asked me to bring my men over. I never thought that someone would ambush you so close to the city gate. This group is not an ordinary gang of thieves. And then we see that something is shining from the body of the man in black clothes and starts coming out of his body. And it looks like a core. And when Wang Zhongwu feels that thing, he gets a little scared and he asks Qianhu to move aside, and he himself moves forward to destroy that thing. And he attacks the core, but that thing moves away. And the core has created a human foam. And when Wang Zhongwu attacks it, that thing easily destroys his attack with one of his fingers. And seeing this, Wang Zhongwu also gets very surprised and he falls down from the horse and also faints. And we see that it is some kind of creature which is strange. And Qianhu is also looking at that man. Then that naked man comes down and starts looking around, and he is saying, is this the other world? It seems that this man is from some other world, and by mistake he has come to this world of cultivation. And Qianhu asks, who are you? But this man does not answer and starts flying in the air. Then he says, this is the other world, they really don't look like us. And then this man hears something and he says, if the plan failed, the divine power transmission was carried out in advance. I see. And then that man attacks both of them and he says, although I'm still curious, time is limited. Next time, I'll understand it. Let's put this thing first. Give it to me. And we see that Jianhu takes the protagonist and steps back, and the man is holding something in his hand which he is looking at, and he says, the relic of divine power is in hand, now, just wait for him to come. And Jianhu says, what? The relics of the southern heavenly kingdom were destroyed? But then someone comes behind this man, and that man says to him, go back. And looking at him, it seems that he is some powerful cultivator. And the man is surprised to see the elder, and he says, hey, you're who's waiting, huh? It's not a divine power? That's interesting. And then the elder comes close to that man and holding his face uses some kind of power and opens a portal. And the elder takes that man inside that portal and the portal closes. And seeing this, Jianhu and the protagonist get very shocked. After some time the portal opens again and both come out of that portal, but the elder has defeated the man from the other world. And now that man slowly starts disappearing, but before disappearing, he says to the elder, I lost, but it doesn't matter, anyway, my purpose has been achieved, but how long can you protect this world? How will you respond the moment we descend? And the elder says, how did you find out about this place? And the man from the other world laughs and says, haha, I have to admit that you did a good job in hiding the original world among us. If the mechanical scrap iron didn't take the initiative to tell us, we would have been cheated by you all the time. And the elder says, Southern Heavenly Kingdom? And the man from the other world says, on your side, it should be called this name. I would like you to go to the scrap iron and destroy it, save time to occupy this place and also score a piece of land for them. And the elder says, do you think you can succeed? So the man from the other world laughs and says, haha. Who do you think you are? You're just a watchdog. You're not even a god. This time it's just you on your home turf, and I haven't descended to my true form, so the next time we meet, it's your time to die. Then the elder completely destroys that man, due to which he has now completely disappeared. And the elder's attention goes towards those people. Then the elder uses some kind of power due to which all the companions of the man in black clothes are killed. And due to the elder's power, people start falling unconscious along with Jianhu. And seeing all these things, the protagonist is saying that why am I here after all? So in response to this, Jianhu says that you have come here to save me. But the protagonist starts leaving from here and he says, I've saved you, can I go now? And Jianhu says, don't even think about it. And then Jianhu catches Lin Feng from behind, and seeing this the protagonist gets a little surprised and he is saying to Jianhu, hey! Hey! Let go! Get out of the way! Hey! Hey! Brother-in-law! Little bastard! And Jianhu says, brother-in-law, don't run away, let's face it together, I'm a bit scared alone, I'll give a good word of you to my sisters when I get back. But the protagonist starts running away, but Jianhu is not going to let the protagonist go so easily, so he is not letting him go, and the protagonist is saying to him, no need, you go away first, you let go of me. And then the elder comes among them, and they are very surprised to see the elder in front of them. But then the elder uses some kind of power on Jianhu, due to which he becomes unconscious. And the protagonist asks, what do you want? So in response to this the elder says, why? You still want to fight with me? And the protagonist says, I'm sorry, senior, I'm wrong, I have something to say to you. And the elder says, a little smart. Now is not the time to chat with you, I only say one thing to you, remember. You must go to East Lin City. And the protagonist thinks, to East Lin City? Where is that? Senior, what are you talking about? Then the protagonist says to the elder, don't worry, senior, I will definitely go. And the elder says, it's up to you whether you go or not. No one here will remember the appearance of the boy except you today. Lin Feng, you are different. Don't let me down. And the protagonist says, senior, what do you mean by this? Then the elder says, you're not from this side of the world, right? And Lin Feng gets a little surprised. Then the elder disappears from here. And Lin Feng is very surprised. But then his mind starts spinning and he slowly faints. Then after this we see a small hut in the middle of the forest, and the elder comes to this place, and he starts coughing. Then he starts opening his clothes, and we see that the same thing is stuck to his body which the man from the other world was searching for earlier. The next day the protagonist suddenly opens his eyes and he remembers what he had heard from the mouth of that elder. You're not from this world. Are you? And the protagonist gets a little surprised, then he looks at himself. Where is he right now? And then Lin Hongyu comes to him and keeps his head near her boobs and she says, Young master, you said you'll go shopping. How come you were sent back by the soldiers unconscious and slept all day and night? I'm dying of anxiety. And the protagonist thinks, it's been day and night. And Lin Hongyu says, oh my, the doctor said that you lost so much qi and blood, I concoct a medicine for you. But the protagonist refuses and tries to stop Lin Hongyu. But Lin Hongyu was not going to listen. She brings the medicine, seeing which the protagonist is very shocked and he goes and sits in a corner and says, Hongyu, you listen to me. This is not the loss of qi and blood, this is the aftermath of the battle. I am now at the 8th stage of qi transformation. Ordinary medicinal herbs are not useful on me. I just need to meditate and cultivate to restore the qi and blood. Don't come here. Hongyu, listen to what I said. But Lin Hongyu is not going to listen to Lin Feng. She forcefully makes the protagonist drink that thing, due to which Lin Feng's condition worsens, and while leaving from here Lin Hongyu is saying, Young master, you're really not a child anymore. Every time you have to drink medicine you always refuse to be obedient. But then Lin Hongyu's foot hits the door frame, due to which she starts falling, but then someone catches Lin Hongyu and saves her from falling. And we see that it is Yunling, and on seeing Yunling Lin Hongyu apologizes to her, but Lin Hongyu does not know who Yunling is, so she asks. But Yunling does not give any answer to Lin Hongyu, and she enters Lin Feng's room and she says to Lin Feng, I never thought I would meet you for the first time in this situation, Lin Feng. And as soon as Lin Feng hears Yunling's voice, he is surprised and Yunling is saying to him, Lin Feng, this is the first time we met, I am your wife, Song Yunling. And Lin Feng thinks, Song Yunling? Why is she here? And Yunling sits next to Lin Feng and Lin Feng asks Yunling, what are you doing here? So Yunling says, Lin Feng, first of all I want to thank you for saving Yunfei, and then I want to say sorry to you that I didn't meet you in person. On one hand, I was busy with business, on the other hand, I did treat you with some contempt, I didn't expect you to be attacked. I hope you can forgive me. And Lin Feng calms down after listening to Yunling. Then Yunling says to Lin Feng, I know you have grievances and I meant to keep you well protected and tried to keep others from noticing you. But I take it for granted that in my position, my enemies spare no effort to find all my weaknesses, even if it is you. Then Lin Feng says, forget it, just to make it clear, you're not bad to me. I'm also pulling your tiger skin when killing the deputy commander of the Imperial Guards. I'm just a foreign prince, how can I be safe? And Yunling touches Lin Feng and says to him, Lin Feng, thank you for understanding me, I will always protect you from now on. And Lin Feng gets very shocked when Yunling's gentle hand falls on his cheeks, he blushes and moves away from Yunling and he thinks, well, what's this situation? For a moment I actually had a feeling of being protected, so domineering. Is this what the owner of this body feels? And Yunling smilingly says, hi, you're actually shy, it's quite cute. Then Lin Feng blushingly says, ahem. You, how are you? It shouldn't be easy to be the crown princess, right? And Yunling says, I'm fine, a woman in charge of the government. It is difficult to walk around, not to mention there are several siblings eyeing for the position. Then Yunling stands up and starts going out of Lin Feng's room, but she says, however, since I have achieved this position, I will not care about these difficulties. It's just that it's difficult to break through the barrier. And Lin Feng says, if you want to wear the crown, you have to bear its weight. And Yunling says, well said. That's exactly the reason. Lin Feng, I appreciate you more and more. When I ascend the throne one day I will definitely make up for you, for a big wedding. Let the world never dare to despise you. And the protagonist says that word, how strange hearing that. And Yunling says, you recuperate well, after you get well, you can let Song Qi take you around the capital. I have transferred him to your house, and Lin Feng says, I know, you also take care of your health. Then Yunling starts leaving from here, and seeing Yunling leaving, Lin Feng's heart is beating very fast and he says, so cool. Looks like the owner of this body has found his true love. We see a deserted street at night, and then a man runs out of a room, but then a hand catches the man's mouth and takes him back to the room and the door closes. And from inside we hear his screams and we see that there is blood on the door, which means that someone has murdered that man. Then a man comes out and he is a soldier and he tells another of his companions, "Take care of the traces, and burn this place." After this, that house is burned by fire. The next day some people come to that place and are trying to extinguish the fire, and the protagonist is also passing by the same place. Then he sees that the house is on fire, hearing which he is also a little surprised. But then a shopkeeper is shouting loudly, "Freshly baked round meatballs, come and try them." And after listening to the shopkeeper, the protagonist goes to him and says, "Hey! Hey! Give me one!" And the shopkeeper says, "Here, take it, sir." Then we see a man who is going in the front and the protagonist is very happy to see his meatballs and he is saying, "Wow, that looks good." Then as soon as Lin Feng opens his mouth to eat the meatball, someone puts a hand on his shoulder and says to him, "Hello. You are Lin Feng, right?" And because of that man, the protagonist's metaball falls on the ground, and seeing this, the protagonist becomes very sad, and that man is saying to the protagonist, "I'm just about to find you, get up and come with us." "Hey, you hear me, get up!" But the protagonist gets very angry because that man dropped his metal ball, so the protagonist hits that man in anger and says to him, "It's a shame to waste food, you bastard." But then some soldiers put a sword in front of the protagonist's neck. Then that man stands up and asks to arrest the protagonist. And the protagonist says, "Do you know who I am? Come and arrest me, don't make a fool of yourself and point someone else's sword at my neck." And that man says, "Yes, of course. Lin Feng, the prince of southern Chu, who got married here, caught you." Then they start leaving with the protagonist. And Yulong is watching all these things from a distance. After some time, Southern Township Fusey Mansion. The protagonist is put inside the jail, and they are talking, "Just leave him here? After all, he's the eldest princess's people, wait for the town governor to return in disposal, let's go." And the protagonist thinks, "Sigh, I've just stopped for a few days, and I've been involved in something. This is Yunling, where are you?" And after some time some soldiers bring a man to Lin Feng's cell. And the protagonist is looking at that man, and we see that this man has sword scars on his face, and he is saying to the protagonist, "What are you looking at? Do you have a problem? I'm a chi transformation cultivator, don't say I'm bullying you, we're in the same realm. If beat me to death, I won't complaints, I'll beat you to death no matter what your background is, despite I look troubled to young master, if I frown. I would be your long-lost father." But the protagonist is not able to understand anything that man is saying, and that man is saying, "Hit me and kill me. If I hadn't been stopped by these guards, I would kick your dog's face and even your parents wouldn't recognize you and ask where his son is when you go home." Then the soldiers put that man in jail and lock the jail door. Then that man says to the protagonist, "Hey, why did put me in this cell?" And the soldier is saying while leaving, "Huh? I see you're as fierce as a mad dog. Just teach that guy inside a lesson, don't say we didn't give you a chance." Then that man looks at those soldiers. After that his eyes go towards the protagonist and he says, "Boy, what are you looking at?" But the protagonist is not able to understand anything. But Lin Feng is smiling. After some time Lin Feng beat that man very badly. And the protagonist smilingly says to him, "Chi transformation cultivators aren't ordinary, they're better fighters than the average person. I want to ask you some questions, can I?" And the man is very scared and he says, "Yes, yes, you ask." And Lin Feng asks, "What do you do for a living? Why are you locked up here?" So the man says, "My name is Zhou Qi, my hometown is in Xinjiang. I usually do some help to earn some money to make a living. I had a few drinks last night, and fell down drunk on the street. When I woke up, I ran into the 12 punishment guards who said I was drunk and set fire to someone's home last night. They said that it was a business, it happened to entertain a guest. The result was that I set fire and burned all of them to death. Then I was brought here." And Lin Feng thinks, not right, according to Song Qi that the function of the 12 punishments is auto-control and direct the guards, inspection and arrest. This kind of case shouldn't be given to the 12 punishments. And he says, "Did you really set the fire?" So the man says, "How can I? If I had the guts, I wouldn't be able to make money every day." So Lin Feng says, it's hard to say, you were so fierce when you just came in, now you're scared to be a father here. And the man says, I heard people say that you have to be a little fierce in order not to be bullied inside the prison. But then the same man who had killed a man last night comes now. And by the way, his name is Li Shinfu, and Li Shinfu stands near Lin Feng's cell and he asks who is Lin Feng. So Lin Feng says, it's me. Who are you? Why? And Li Shinfu says, I ask and you answer, you don't have to talk. And Lin Feng gets a little surprised, but he is very angry, and he says in an angry voice, who do you think you are? I'm only here because my wife is Song Yunling and I respect her, that's why I'm here. Otherwise you think I would have given up my life? And Li Shinfu's friends get angry at Lin Feng and they start taking out their swords, but Li Shinfu says, it looks like you won't explain until you've had some pain. But then Yunling comes there and she says, who are you going to give some pain to? Lord Li is arresting my husband without my consent. Is it because he doesn't care about me? And Lin Feng becomes very happy on seeing Yunling because Yunling has come here to save Lin Feng. And Li Shinfu said to Yunling, Your Highness, I called Lin Feng to ask about the attack on the city gate a few days ago as part of my inspection duties. So Yunling says, oh? Is that so? Lord Wen, have you heard that the 12 punishments are summoning Lin Feng? And the minister says, Your Highness, I have not heard of the summons, nor has the commander issued one. And Yunling says, oh? Is it? And then Yunling goes forward and grabs Li Shinfu's throat and says to him, Li Shinfu, what should you do if you abuse your power? I am now monitoring the officials on behalf of my father, so why don't I just put you to justice? And Li Shinfu is not able to breathe properly. His eyes start turning red. And Yunling starts smiling, but then someone says, Your Highness, stop it. Your Majesty, although His Majesty has asked you to monitor all officials, you only have the power to monitor, not the power to dispose of. And Yunling looks back and this man is her uncle, and Yunling says, Uncle Wei, you're here. And uncle says, Yunling, a person of great importance cannot be so straightforward. Yours father has raised you to this position. There are many things that can't be as easy as before. And Yunling says, I know, but they didn't follow the rules this time, so I just... And his uncle says, don't worry if they don't follow the rules, they naturally have to pay the price. And uncle says to Li Shinfu, Shinfu, you have worked under me for many years, you know my rules, are you ready? So Li Shinfu says, Shinfu is willing to be punished. And uncle says, very good. And uncle uses his power, and uses some kind of technique due to which Li Shinfu starts feeling unbearable pain. He feels like his whole body is shrinking and his bones are breaking. Then uncle, after punishing Li Shinfu, says to Yunling, Your Highness, you can take Lin Feng away now. And Yunling smilingly says, Thank you, Lin Wei, but, next time, even if it is you, I will not be so kind. And uncle agrees to this. Then we see that the prison door is opened and Lin Feng starts coming out, and Lin Feng is very happy. And he hugs Yunling, and Yunling is also happy. And she says to Lin Feng, Little fool, I'm here, right? Don't be afraid. And Zhou Qi, seeing both of them, thinks, no wonder he's not so old, but his cultivation is so much higher than mine. So he's a soft-spoken man who doesn't even care about the dignity of a man. What a shame! Then Lin Feng and Yunling start leaving, and seeing them leaving, Zhou Qi asks Lin Feng to stop, and he holds Lin Feng's leg and says to him, Great warrior! Take me with you. I really didn't start that fire. If I stay here, I'll be beaten to death. And uncle says to Zhou Qi, You have no self-esteem at all. And then the system says to Lin Feng, The path to become a god requires not only great strength, but also inevitable growth of mind. Do you want to rescue the ordinary spiritual boy in front of you now? Reward unknown. Penalty unknown. And Lin Feng gets a little surprised, but when he clicks on the rescue option, the system tells Lin Feng, The reward has been issued. Xinjing Incident chapter officially opened because of your decision. Zhou Qi was saved from a deadly future, and your enemies will not stop there, and find out the truth about the arson case. This mission is mandatory and cannot be refused. Please choose each GIE of the next action carefully. And after listening to the system, Lin Feng thinks, the Xinjing Incident? What's this? And if I didn't save Zhou Qi, would he die? It seems there is something wrong. Lin Feng tells Yunling something which we are not told. Then they start leaving. And we see Li Shinfu and his friends start lifting Li Shinfu, and he starts leaving. Then Yunling tells the elder, if someone is wronged, they should be detained in the northern department. The southern department doesn't have internal supervision either, don't you think so, Lord Wen? And the elder says that's how I should be. And Zhou Qi becomes very happy and he thanks Yunling. And Li Shinfu says to Yunling, that would make Lord Wen suffer. And Yunling looks at Li Shinfu with angry eyes, but she starts leaving from here. And Lin Feng is leaving from here smiling, but Li Shinfu gets very angry with Lin Feng, but he can't do anything. Then both of them leave. And Uncle says to Li Shinfu, what have you been doing lately? And Li Shinfu says, naturally, I was doing my part of the job. And Uncle tells Li Shinfu to be careful and leaves from here. And Li Shinfu's friend wants to say something to Li Shinfu, but Li Shinfu silences him, and he says, you're a self-righteous old man. Even if you know about it, so what? And Lin Feng, even an unworthy prince dares to get involved. Very well, I'll remember you. Then we see Yunling and Lin Feng, and Yunling says to Lin Feng, I'm sorry, Lin Feng. It's all because of me that they've repeatedly attacked you. So Lin Feng says, one cannot help oneself in the jingle. Yunling, not only you, it seems that I also have to abandon some unrealistic ideas. Since your enemies have been using me as a way to fight you, then let me come to the forefront and fight them. Then the scene shifts to the residence of the Grand Prince Song Yunlong. We see Li Shinfu bowing in front of Song Yunlong, and he says, this is what happened. I have failed to do my job well. Please punish me, Your Majesty. And Song Yunlong is getting very angry and he says, Shinfu, how long have you been in Xingjing? So Li Shinfu says 5 years. And Song Yunlong says, it's been 5 years since that incident. No wonder that you have started to slack off. And Li Shinfu gets very scared on hearing Song Yunlong's words and he starts banging his head on the ground and he says, I deserve to die. And Song Yunlong says, when you first came to Xingjing 5 years ago, you were on thin ice and did everything yourself. Thanks to you, I was able to hold up a great position under the Emperor's feet. In the case of the city gate, people from the southern heavenly kingdom openly attacked the envoy of the Western Empire, and you didn't notice. But now, Father has started to investigate this matter seriously. I asked you to clean up the mess because I was afraid that someone would find traces. And you just let your men find some random scoundrel to take care of it. You don't care about your colleagues. Are you the only smart person in the world? And Song Yunlong hits Li Shinfu on his head. And Li Shinfu's head starts bleeding and Li Shinfu says to Song Yunlong, Your Majesty, don't worry. I've learned from my mistakes. It is true that I was negligent in my duties, but next I will personally plan to give a reasonable account of this matter. And Song Yunlong goes to Li Shinfu and stares at him and he says, Go now and don't disappoint me again. And Li Shinfu says yes. Then we look at Zhou Qi, who is very happy and he is standing in front of Lin Feng and Lin Feng says to him, Do you want to follow me? So Zhou Qi says yes. Please accept me, Master, I am willing to die for you. And Lin Feng says, Get lost. Who will believe what you said? Stay there first. And Zhou Qi says yes. Then we see Yunling and Yunling takes Lin Feng's name and as soon as Lin Feng sees Yunling, he becomes very happy and he starts going closer to Yunling and Yunling says to Lin Feng, I've already spoken to Lord Wen. You'll be serving in the 12 criminal departments from today. And Lin Feng says, Is it convenient to do so? And Yunling says, Of course, you're new to the region and you don't know the functions of the 12 criminal departments. The 12 criminal departments are taken from the 12 earthly branches. They are divided into the upper 6th and lower 6th. The upper 6th criminal department is responsible for the internal supervision of the entire Qin Empire. The next 6 criminal departments are responsible for intelligence gathering outside the borders of the Great Qin Empire. The 12 criminal departments are directly responsible to the Emperor. The upper 6 criminal departments in Xingjing are divided into the southern and northern departments. Li Shinfu is responsible for the supervision of the 100 officials of the 3 northern criminal departments. Mao Qin is in charge of the 3 southern criminal departments, and responsible for inspection and arrest. The two checked each other and collaborated with each other, But because of the case at the city gate 2 days ago, Father was furious and asked us to investigate this matter, so it's just as well that you've been put on the 12th Criminal Department to help me investigate the matter. And Lin Feng says, hee, if you weren't the crown princess, I wouldn't believe that. And Yunling laughs and says, hee, it's a little joke, but Lin Feng, don't let me down. And Lin Feng says, leave it to me. Next day we see that Lin Feng has a lot of books in front of him, and Zhou Qi looking at all these books is saying, here. This is the account book and business records of Zhongping Trading Halls. Take your time to read them. This is too much. And then a soldier tells them both, the free men have gone to investigate the city gate case. I'll have to leave it to Lord Lin to see for himself. I have to go out for inspection soon, so goodbye. And he closes the door and goes away. And Lin Feng is just watching him go. Then Lin Feng looks at Zhou Qi and says to him, forget it. Zhou Qi, help me read all this. So Zhou Qi says, Master, I would like to, but I don't know how to read. And Lin Feng is getting very angry and he grabs Zhou Qi's collar and says to him, you'd better hurry up and learn how to read, or I'll show you the power of knowledge. And Zhou Qi gets very scared and he says to Lin Feng in fear, yes, I'll learn. After some time, Zhou Qi and Lin Feng start reading the book and Lin Feng says, well, in January, we went to Nachu. It was transporting minerals. In mid-January, we went to Channi to deliver herbal medicine. At the beginning of February we went to the south side of the map, Fielding, Lushui, Shithlu. Although each time they went to different places, they all passed through Nachu. Is it a coincidence? I don't know how to calculate the transport of goods in this world, but in my original world it belongs to strategic materials. The Chamber of Commerce hosted a banquet last night. All the top people were there. Unfortunately, there was a fire and no one survived, a fire accident, but the culprit was not handed over to the government. Instead, they were arrested in the Southern Township Department. I do not believe that there is nothing fishy. The roster of merchant houses, this is it. Wan Yuda, one of the bosses of Zhongping Trading Company. He was unable to attend the party last night. He is still alive. Now that I've taken Zalqi away, the matter has become my responsibility. If my prediction is true, you won't survive today. Come with me first. And Shouqi says, I'm coming. And Lin Feng says, didn't I teach you pinyin? Do you still don't know it? How do you pronounce this word? Read it. Huh? Did you bite your tongue? What about this word? And Zhouqi says, out. Out of residence. The real word is dot, and Lin Feng says, I never thought I'd meet someone in my life who couldn't distinguish between words. Then Lin Feng starts going somewhere taking Zhouqi with him, and while going he is thinking and Lin Feng is taking Zhouqi with him very fast, and because of this Zhouqi is feeling nauseous. Then we see another place where Lin Feng is going very fast. He comes inside. And he starts looking around, and he finds out that there is no one here. But Zhouqi's condition is very bad, he starts vomiting, and Lin Feng asks Zhouqi if he wants to vomit. Went? Zhouqi says yes. Then they started going forward and Lin Feng said to Zhouqi, you have been in Xinjiang for many years. Do you know this family? And Zhouqi says, of course I know them. This is the west side, where poor people usually settle down. Master Wang's residence is the only one of its kind in this area. We used to come around here when we had nothing to do. We also wanted to see what the Wang family's young lady looked like, but unfortunately, we didn't see her once. And then someone starts opening the door from inside, seeing which Lin Feng asks who is it? And he starts moving towards him quickly and then a man in black clothes comes out after breaking the door and attacks Lin Feng. But Lin Feng easily dodges the attack of the man in black clothes. But the attack of the man in black clothes is very dangerous. And the man in black clothes attacks Lin Feng again, but Lin Feng dodges his attack very easily. Then he also uses his power to punch the ground and there is dust everywhere. Seeing this, the man in black clothes starts coughing. Now Lin Feng attacks the man in black clothes and seeing this, the man in black clothes gets very angry. He gets shocked and Lin Feng attacks the man in black clothes which falls directly on the man in black clothes, and he falls very far away and gets hurt badly. Then Lin Feng starts moving forward. And then someone catches Lin Feng's leg and starts asking him for help. And when Lin Feng looks down, he sees a girl lying injured and she tells Lin Feng while crying, "I'm Wan Yanjing, my father was." Then the girl faints, but Lin Feng recognizes her that its name is Miss Wang. Then the man in black clothes eats a pill and stands up again, and we see that now his power has increased and his eyes have become purple in color. And he again moves forward to attack Lin Feng, and Lin Feng also gets ready to fight with him. And a huge explosion starts taking place. And some people are watching this explosion from a distance, and they are saying, "Hey, what's going on? What's all the noise in the west side?" And the other man says, "I don't know. I didn't hear who went to the west side to work on the case." And a man with red hair says, "Shut up and follow my orders. You go and inform the other officers and the commander. The rest of you will come with me. No matter what happens, we have to control it first. We can't have a mess at this time." Then they leave for that place. And still Lin Feng and the man in black clothes are fighting, and Zhou Qi is handling the girl. And Lin Feng attacks him with a dangerous weapon. The man in black has done all this, but still the man is not giving up so easily. And Lin Feng is thinking, is this guy crazy? He's using this kind of desperate fighting style. And Lin Feng takes out the sword and attacks the man in black clothes, cuts off one of his hands and kicks him and pushes him away. And now the man in black clothes is defeated and blood is coming out of his mouth. Then Lin Feng goes in front of him and says to him, "Don't struggle unnecessarily. Who sent you here?" And then the system says to Lin Feng, "There are so many people. Who can really control their own destiny? The man in front of you is just a poor, ordinary man whose life and death are at your disposal. Please choose, do you want to kill him or not? Reward unknown." And Lin Feng gets surprised after hearing the words of the system, and he thinks, "Huh? Is this worth a choice? It doesn't matter if I kill him or not." But then the man in black clothes grabs Lin Feng's sword and cuts it across his neck, and the protagonist is very shocked to see this. Then the system tells Lin Feng, the reward has been issued for killing the man in black. And Zhou Qi tells Lin Feng, "Brother, you are great. You've taken care of this man in 3 or 2 strokes. And Lin Feng says, "Is Miss Wang all right?" So Zhou Qi says, "It's okay, it's okay. After all, I don't have many opportunities to get this close to women." And after listening to Zhou Qi, Lin Feng tells him, "Put the girl down / what the hell are you thinking about?" And then a red-haired man comes to that place, and he is Pei Thinin, 12th criminal of the Northern Township Department. And another man laughingly says, "Let's see who's making such a big fuss in Shigoing." And he is Huafel, 12th criminal of the Northern Township Department. And a bodybuilder man comes out breaking the wall, and he says, "They're all here. This kid is wearing the official uniform of the officers of 12 criminal departments. And he is Hu Zhe, 12th criminal of the Northern Township Department." And then an old man comes, and he is Wen Jingqing, commander of the 12th criminal Northern Township Department. And he says, "You were out this morning and I didn't have time to say hello to you. This is the fiancée of the Grand Princess, the 6th Prince of Southern Chu, Lin Feng, who eats soft food." And with the old man is his daughter, Wen Yule, 12th criminal Northern Township Department, Wen Zhengoing's adopted daughter. And Lin Feng says, "You don't need to add that part of eating soft food, Uncle Wen." "Uncle Wen? Don't try to get close to me, you limperest shrimp. I won't allow you to marry Yunling." Then Lin Feng says smilingly, "It seems that there are many people who do not agree with the marriage." And the little girl says to Lin Feng, "Don't be angry, brother. The master is too concerned about Sister Yunling. That's why he's not happy with His Majesty's decision. I don't mean to look down on you. I apologize for him." And Lin Feng says, "Is that so? Then I won't be mad at him because you are such a good girl. What's your name?" And the little girl says, "My name is Wen Yule." And Uncle says, "When adults do their work, children go to the side to play. I haven't asked you yet, you're not investigating the arson case of Zhou Qi, are you up? Why did you come here?" And Lin Feng says, "Uncle Wen, when I was investigating, I found that this is not a simple matter. Someone was deliberately trying to silence me. After tracing the family's name to this house, I found a man in black hiding here, and he attacked me ruthlessly. I had no choice but to kill him. And Uncle says this morning, the Southern Department sent people to arrest a street scoundrel. I thought it was just a coincidence, but now I see. And then Huafei comes to that place and he says, so you're the one who fought him and made all this noise. Sir, do you think it's possible that Li Shenfu sent him? And then there comes another man and he says, Huafei, you are wasting your time. You're all here from the north? If I remember correctly, the western town can be under the control of our southern town department. And he is Luo Han, C12th criminal of the southern township department. And Huafei looks at Luo Han and says, the person who came is actually a woman. And Luo Han gets very angry and shouts and calls Huafei a dog and moves forward to attack him, and he says, yes, you crazy dog. It seems that you don't want your tongue anymore. And Huafei also gets ready to fight and he says, I don't mind turning you into a woman for the rest of your life. And Lin Feng and Zhou Qi both sit down and get ready to watch their fight, and Zhou Qi says, is this going to be a fight? And Lin Feng says, do you think they're getting ready to eat? And Zhou Qi says, yes, then I'll sit here and watch the show. And then Huja grabs Huafei by the throat and says to him, that's enough. Huafei, don't make trouble at this time. And Luo Han says, Huja, keep this crazy dog under control. If he dares to speak rudely next time, I'll kill him. And then Pei Tunin comes there and says, we were just investigating in the neighborhood. We just happened to see some movement here and came to take a look, so don't misunderstand us. And Huafei says to Pei Tunin, Tunin, tell Huja to let go of me. He can't kill me with his 7th level of Tian Yuan cultivation, but Pei Tunin says he broke through to the 8th level 2 days ago. And Huafei says, Huja, if you use more strength, you will strangle me. Then Pei Tunin greets Uncle and says to him, Sir, the smoke just now, I guess the whole West City has seen it. It is imperative that we report the circumstances of this matter to the commander to avoid being held accountable. And the uncle says, yes, that makes sense. Then I'll leave the aftermath of this place to you, Tu Nan. From now on, you will lead Lin Feng. After all, his words and actions represent the Grand Princess. Then they call Uncle Yush. And Uncle holds the hand of the little girl and takes her away with him. Then we hear Lin Feng and Zhou Qi talking, and Lin Feng says, hey, it's a pity that they didn't fight. And Zhou Qi says, that's right, I can't eat either. And Luo Han shouts, why don't you two come over here? This is all because of you. How dare you sit there to watch the fun? Then Luo Han starts leaving and he says, now that the Lord Wu has given the word, I'll leave it to you. I am also happy to be free. And Huafei says, I can't believe that he just left like that. And Huja says, yeah, it's a little weird, but let's not worry about him. We still have work to do. Then Huja lets go of Huafei's neck. Give it, and Huafei tells him, I'll leave it to you. If Tunin hadn't told me, I wouldn't have come. One still has to investigate the Castle Gate case. His Majesty is pursuing this case very closely. Then he starts leaving with his friends, and Pei Tunin says, I'll leave this to you, Huja. The case of the city gate is the most urgent task, so you should also hurry. And Huja says, then I will respectfully obey the order. And he also starts leaving. Then Pei Tunin takes a sigh of relief and he says to Lin Feng, come on, tell me what you found out. And Lin Feng also tells Pei Tunin everything. He gets ready to tell something. And Pei Tunin says to his friends, you can search to see if there is anything useful.